Hi, today I thought I'd have a look at or do a review of this new stove that I bought off Amazon. It was only, hello dog, it was only $18.99, and I was going to make this decision prior to that to try and make one. I had a bit of sheet steel in the shed and looked at the honey stove and some bush stove designs and thought I could probably make my own, and then had a quick look on Amazon to see what was available, and there's a lot of kind of Chinese makes and different models of particular twig stoves, and yeah, I found this one, the Redcamp one, for $18.99, and I thought, well, how long would it take for me to actually make my own one? Probably a day, probably with some mistakes thrown in, and would those mistakes cost me dear in the end, and then I'd end up probably having to start again. So I decided that no, pay the $18.99, and it got delivered next day. So here it is. It comes in a nice bag. Go on dog, you sniff the nice bag. And this is it. So it's about 14 centimetres across, 21 centimetres high. Inside it you got your grill, your ash pan, and then as you open it up, the fire grate sits in there and holds it all together. Don't do what I did and try and think that you can fit that round the front through the back. It's literally a couple of millimeters out, and I was getting really stressed about it, thinking it was a design fault, but it's not. It actually slides in the side. There's two little grooves here, and it goes in there and out through the other side. Whether you want to use an ash pan is debatable. It depends on what sort of surface you're cooking on, and whether there's a fire risk. And then this thing, it's got two little arms either side. These connect through to the handles that are on the front and the back, and if you lift those up and put that over the top, it holds it together. So that's it. You feed the wood in from the front, and that folds down there, and wood goes in there. So for $18.99, I think that's quite a good price. So let's see what it's like to cook on. I forgot to get some paper to start the fire with, so I'm going to grab some birch bark where I can. Some nice bits here. Great spotted woodpeckers in the background, chasing each other. All the males are getting territorial at the moment, drumming first thing in the morning. Just going to collect some firewood. We've had a lot of rain in the last sort of day and a half, so I need to get some wood that's off the ground. And in this oak tree here, there's a few dead branches that have fallen down from above that are caught up in the existing branches. There's one. You only need some very small twigs, so probably the maximum sort of thumb sort of size, that sort of size, finger thickness basically. The dog's found a vole. Where is it? Where is it? Is it a vole? Is it a vole? Where's the vole? Right, I'm just going to light some birch bark now just to get it going, and then put some pine twigs on the top. The good thing about starting this obviously is you can load from the top before you put your grill over the top of that and put food on. Once the food's on, obviously you've got to load it from the front. It's got lots of ventilation holes around the sides as well as the slits at the front, so it's going to get loads of air. You've just got to kind of keep up with it to start with. A bit of a poke. There you go, I've closed the front of it now, because otherwise bits do fall out. And it's really got going. That's literally taken a couple of minutes to get to that sort of size of fire and heat. A lot of heat being chucked off that at the moment. I'm just going to add to it. I'll put the grill on top, and then I'll pour some water for a hot chocolate. Right, on goes my Crusader mug. Lid on. Let's see how long that takes. That's about 200ml of water in there, which is what they recommend for one of those hot chocolate sachets. Okay, I can hear it boiling already. That's been 3 minutes. So yeah, that's much faster than I thought it was going to be. I opened the front and started loading the tiniest of twigs, not even pencil thickness, through there, just to get, because I was worried about having enough heat to do the water. But yeah, that's really surprising. So it's boiled 200ml in less than 3 minutes. Brilliant. Let's make some hot chocolate. Now that there's not a lot of heat left in there, well, I say a lot of heat, there's not really a lot of flame, I'm going to stick a hot cross bun on the top, see if I can toast that in what remains of the residual heat. Here we go. Cool, that's a nice fruity one. What I've just realised is, obviously I was trying to toast the buns with that open and the heat was coming out, so if you close that it makes such a difference. You can feel the heat now coming through the top, it's got nowhere else to escape. So if you're trying to use the residual heat right at the very end to toast something like I am, then yeah, close the front door and all the heat is channeled up the top. Oh, here we go, toasted hot cross bun, hot chocolate. Yum. Right, it's been about 5 minutes, maybe a bit less than 5 minutes, since I've let the fire go down. Yeah, and I wouldn't. I'd say that was cool. I wouldn't even say that was warm. So yeah, I mean it's touch. You can touch it, yeah, within less than 5 minutes. So obviously that's quite a handy thing to know when you're packing up. It's not going to take ages to cool down in order for you to pack it up and put it back in the bag. Let's see how much ash there is that it's created. so I can pull that out. There we go. Yeah, so that's had the residual ash on it, and yeah, you can touch that. It's not that hot. Yeah, that's completely cold now, so I can pack that away. So you flip up the grid that the sticks go on, pinch the sides, and that's it folded away. Obviously it will blacken over time. You can obviously clean that off if you want to. And then everything else fits back inside. And in the bag it goes. So yeah, that's the amount of ash. Yeah, that's completely cold. It's not warm at all, so I better put that straight on the forest floor now without a worry that that's going to catch anything. And then potentially that was on for maybe 5 minutes. That's like a couple of dessert spoons worth of ash. So, in summing up, I'd say this little wood burning stove from Redcamp is well worth a buy for $18.99.